Successfully Married with Pete and Mel. Hi guys, so I'm Pete.
And I'm Mel, and we are Successfully Married.
Hi everybody, hope everybody's doing well. So we're continuing our series on how to navigate dating as a couple, the do's and don'ts. So we're going to carry on with that. We've got the next point 6 to 10 coming up right now.
Yeah, and I'm taking over point 6.
Yay.
So you're going to love this one. We have put as point 6, do not rush into marriage.
There's no rushing, guys. Forget the rush.
No. And the reason why we're saying this is we understand that there is a train of thought that, okay, you found the one, you know you want to be together, you're maybe at the point where you're engaged, why wait? But what I would say is that season before marriage is so precious. And after marriage, you can't go back. Like when a child is 3 and they want to be 7, you can't go back. And we're always in a rush to go forward, aren't we, as a people? But trust me, sometimes it's just good to stay in the season you are in and just soak in it and enjoy it. Because I'm telling you, if it's anything like our time, sometimes that time before marriage, it's a magical time. It's a special time. And what did you want to say? Oh, also, I knew you were going to talk there, but I was also going to say that there's the other side of it where you don't want to carry on for too long either. So there's also not rushing it, but there's also not dragging it on for 25 years, being engaged.
Yeah, if you don't want to be engaged for long, you don't want to be engaged for like years, like for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, still engaged and still like...
Especially not if you're a Christian, like
so with somebody, it's not good to be engaged for a long period of time. Obviously, good to discuss that with like a church leader, a pastor about that sort of stuff. But from our understanding, it's not good to be engaged for a good while, like over a year, or even it's debatable if we should be engaged for more than 6 months. But that is something to certainly discuss with the church leader.
I think a year is okay, because you might be planning, quite an affair. So you might need that time to, get all your ducks in a row. But this whole...
When you say affair...
What I mean is...
Be more specific.
Oh, sorry. What I mean is the event of the wedding. So some people, they like to...
be specific with that
and
word,
sometimes, there's a lot of things that need to go into this event. And sometimes you might need more than 6 months. Obviously, it worked out for us. We did it in, was it 5.5 months?
We sort of...
we knew we were going to get married before.
It was more... No, because from the time we got together to the time we actually got married, it was about 8 months.
Yeah, but we didn't start planning the wedding, babe, until we got engaged. And that was about 5.5. That was 5.5 months. I remember it well.
Yeah, I mean, I know roughly. I remember roughly.
Yeah.
But I guess the key thing is, what we're saying is, we're not saying, you meet someone and, oh my God, get married the next day, get married the next month, rush. We're not saying that. And so definitely don't rush. We're saying that don't rush marriage. And also, we're also saying, if somebody's trying to pressurize you into getting married, quickly, very, very quickly, within a month, very, very quickly, or pressurize you to get married, that should send alarm bells ringing. I wouldn't be pressurized into getting married. This is such an important decision. You're planning to spend the rest of your life with the person, hopefully. So this is something not a decision to be made lightly. Pray about it. Pray about it. Take some time to seek God and just make sure you're doing the right thing. Don't rush or allow anybody to pressurize you into making such an important decision.
Exactly. Pace yourself is another way I would say it. Pace yourself. So not too short, not too long, but somewhere in between. Yes.
No worries. All right, so point number 7 we've got is to say, do be open, honest, and genuine with your partner. So there's definitely no point lying no point lying and saying things that about yourself that are not true.
Remember to keep it up.
That's right, because when you get married, they're going to find out. They're going to find out, and if they find out that you've said some things that are not true, they're going to they'll be looking and they'll realize that you weren't being genuine, and that could cause unnecessary issues. That could cause just unnecessary issues that are not necessary. So just be open, be honest, be genuine, be truthful with with the person that you're planning to get married. Hopefully you'll be truthful with everybody, but it definitely encourages you to be truthful with
your intended spouse.
With your intended spouse, with the person you're planning to get married to, because you don't want them finding out things about you, and you don't want to say lies, and they find out. and they're not happy, and it's, you know, they don't trust you. You just don't want that. It's not
worth it.
It's unnecessary.
Let me put it this way. I understand, like, obviously we don't agree with lie. We agree with being truthful because we're Christians. But I understand why people could potentially lie if they feel like what they are, the truth, their partner can't handle, or if the person finds out they won't want to marry me. There's the fear of loss, there's the fear of all sorts of things. But honesty, as the saying goes, is always the best policy. So trust me, if you're supposed to be together, you telling the truth isn't gonna destroy that. You know what I mean? If you have something. And yeah, so what Pete said is definitely be honest and open. Yes. So going on to point number 8 now, and that is to be accountable to what do you call it? Not an mutual person, but somebody that's not related, is what we're trying to say. So we have touched upon this point a bit before, but we're just emphasizing it, because the reason being, it can either be a pastor or a church leader, somebody that knows the word, somebody that's a representative of God on earth, as we all know. And they can also pray for you. They can pray for you. They can give you godly counsel.
They can watch over you.
Yeah, they can watch over
your soul. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's good. It's as good as we do recommend, you know, to be accountable to like a church leader, a pastor who can actually pray for you, you know, whilst you're, you know, about to get married.
And when you have those little troubles as well, sometimes going there,
you can go and speak to them.
Yeah, kind of just clear
they can offer you good advice.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're a shoulder to cry on if you need to. You know what I mean? They are there when the stresses and the strains and the, I don't understand what he or she's saying. It's a good resource to have. Believe me. Believe us when we say it. So please be accountable. Like, if you are a believer, I think that's mandatory. Do not have any secret relationships. So it doesn't mean you have to broadcast it to the church and tell everybody, all right, we're going out, we're together.
But when you're serious, be accountable.
Yeah, tell some key people like pastors or church leaders who you trust, who you both trust. And that will help you to have a covering. That's what we say. Have a covering. Yeah.
So definitely.
Yes.
All right. So point number 9 is do pray together for the will of God concerning you both. So pray together. So when you decide you want to be together for the rest of your life, you made that decision. But before you get married, spend a lot of time in prayer. Because we definitely pray together. Pray together.
Don't stop praying.
Pray about where you're going to live. You know, seek the Lord seek God about these things. Where you're going to live. You know, your professions. Are you going to carry on the same profession? Has God got other plans for you? Pray about these things and ask God to direct you and show you what He wants you to do. Ask God to show you, you know why He's put you together, what He wants you to do.
What is it you
in
want
life?
He wants you to do as a couple.
As a couple, whether it's ministry, different types of things. Ask God to just show you and direct you in terms of different things. So definitely pray together. And I'd also advise, don't stop praying together when you get married. Continue to pray together.
Sit back and relax and think, we're married now.
Trust me. Pray. So pray. So that's right. So pray together before you get married. Pray together regularly, and also pray together. Continue to pray together even after. It's a good idea.
Yes,
it's a good idea. It's definitely good. Pray one for another.
Exactly, like we mentioned in one of our earlier videos. I think the Pete and Mel video. When we told the lady when we were celebrating our 12-year anniversary, and she said, "Oh, what's the secret of your 12 years?" And we said prayer, and she laughed. She wasn't a believer. But what I'm saying is we weren't lying.
God has helped
us. Telling the truth.
God has helped us.
Prayer has got us to this point. You know, prayer will continue. So
God has helped us.
Pray. Yes. Pray.
Yeah, so pray.
Yes. So now we're going to go on to point number 10. We are going to share this point because it's a big one.
Yes, it's a longer one.
And the point is, do not ignore red flags.
Don't ignore those red flags. If you see those,
it's not worth it. And it doesn't mean that those red flags are complete deal breakers, dependent on what they are. But some of them will be. So even if you're together and you're intended to get married, sometimes if you see those red flags,
and you got to, or if you see those red flags, you just got to think. You got to pray and ask God for direction. You know, some of them you got to. We're not telling you what to do, but you're going to have to. You know, you're going to have to be honest with yourself and ask God. God, you know, is this should I stay? Should I not? But this will be laughing. It's pretty serious. But it's pretty serious. Yeah, it's pretty serious. You got to be. But when you see these red flags, you got to be honest with yourself and don't ignore them. Don't ignore these red flags and ask God for direction. God, you know, what should I do in this instance? Should I? should I stay and see this through?
Yeah.
Should I not? Is this likely to change? You're gonna have to think about these things. So we've got a list of red flags.
Yes.
This is not. This is not just
a limited list.
Obviously, there's more than this.
Yes.
But this is some of the red flags that we've come up with. So if you see these red flags, you're gonna have to sort of
open your eyes.
Be very prayerful.
Be vigilant.
Be very prayerful and consider.
We love you guys. We don't know you, but we love you. We do not want you to be in situations where you ignore the red flags, and then when you're married,
we don't want to make unnecessary mistakes.
Yeah. After that, it's just.
We don't want to make unnecessary mistakes. Yeah. Basically, so that's why we're saying. So don't ignore these red flags.
Exactly.
If you see these red flags, pray, ask God for guidance. You might want to get some guidance from somebody else who can give you some good guidance.
Counsellors,
a counsellor, or a relative who can give you good guidance.
Yes, good advice.
Or a friend who can give you good advice, but don't ignore these things. Pray, ask God for direction if you see any of these red flags.
Yes.
Okay, so what are these red flags?
Oh, well, the first one, our daughter would love this one. Still talking to the ex. If your partner is still talking to their ex,
still in regular communication. It's a red flag. If they're still, still texting them, still
talking to the ex,
still chatting to them regularly.
Doesn't mean they should be a malice of the ex. We're not saying that they should hate them and they can't say hello to them. But if they're chatting,
chatting regularly,
and they're texting and communicating quite often,
it's a red flag.
That's definitely.
It's a red flag.
Yes.
It's a red flag.
Yes.
Okay, so the next point we've got as a red flag is dishonesty. If they're not truthful, if they say things and you realise that what they're saying is not true, this is a red flag. Yeah. This is a red flag.
If they lied about that, what else have they
What else could they be lying about? This is a red flag. So just be prayerful as to how you wish to take that forward if you see that type of red flag.
Yeah, a huge red flag is if they're abusive, if they're aggressive. I mean, that's a big one, because obviously we know domestic violence is a reality, and sometimes these there were signs before, but people ignored them. Watch out for the signs, people, because we love you, and this can go both ways. This is not just for women, because men can suffer domestic abuse as well. So look out for the signs. We're saying keep your eyes open, trust what other people are saying. Be careful,
and if you see something, you have to just be careful. Just be very prayerful as to how you're gonna. Yeah. Whether you're going to go forward with this, or the way you're going to go, the way you choose to go forward, and the decisions you choose to make,
or if you go away from it,
whichever, you've got to be very prayerful. If this something that can be dealt with? Is it not something that can be dealt with? Be prayerful about this. If your partner is abusive or aggressive to you or even to others,
exactly.
Just something it's a red flag.
It is a huge red flag.
So
Please do not ignore.
Don't ignore it. If it's not addressed, how is it likely to go away?
Exactly.
So as I said, be prayerful. Be prayerful about